Hello everyone, greetings and salutations. Mark from GamersLedge.com. I'm joined by Jason Brenner from Upper Deck Brand Manager.
Yes, sir.
It's been a year since we spoke last.
Wow, has it been a year?
It has, and apparently it's been a big year with the relaunch of Versus 2-player card game, 2PCG.
2PCG, right.
And I hear there were some good sales on the first day of GenCon.
Depends on who you ask. So we sold out pretty quick. We definitely underestimated the sheer amount of excitement. I mean, we thought it was going to be like, we thought we were going to do really good. I didn't think we were going to sell it like in an hour. Nobody did, quite frankly. But today we've brought everything out, so we're still blowing through it, but we're still pretty good. And like my biggest concern is making sure the guys and gals that pre-reg for the 10K are getting their product. So they come today, they're going to get it. I don't know who's going to buy it tomorrow and still play in the 10K, but they'll probably have some in the morning. But beyond that, I don't know. It's going pretty quick.
So tomorrow is the first World Championships 10K.
Yeah.
Response has been good.
The response has been pretty good. We're really close to being sold out on the 10K. I was just over in the OP hall.
And that was 250?
Yeah, it's like 256. We'll just say 250.
Sure.
They're getting pretty close. I want to say they're maybe within 20. So in any case, a lot of people are signing up, a lot of excitement. I think just a lot of people are excited that Versus is actually back. This isn't a preview set. This isn't like, hey, just for Gen Con. This is like the game is back. So I'm happy about it.
So the people that are passionate about it, they've seen your interviews other places, etc.
Yeah.
The one thing that we haven't really seen or heard a lot about is the organized play for stores moving forward.
Sure.
Anything you can tell us about that?
Absolutely. So the plan is for a very grassroots style OP program. I'm really focused on casual, fun gameplay. There's going to be competition and competitive nature in any OP, but I really want to have it be at a store level. Right now, I have no plans to do the pro circuit like we did before. No regionals, nationals, world championships. I want to do store level OP, bring people in, getting them to play the game. I want to bring in new players that don't feel intimidated, that feel very comfortable in their favorite local game store setting. I think that's very important to make sure that the game, any game, doesn't matter who's doing it, whether it's Versus, whether it's Legendary, whether it's anything on the show floor, you always want new players to come in and feel good about trying it out, not super intimidated and crazy. So grassroots, store level. We'll always have like our majors at the shows and everything, which I think is a lot of fun because then it allows the pros to come out and show their stuff, and I think that's important too. So trying to touch on all bases. And look, down the road, if things change and we get to a point, great. Then we can look at things like changing up. But it's got to happen organically. I'm not going to crowbar it in anywhere.
Are we able to talk at this point about what that OP support looks like at that grassroots level? Playmats?
Yeah, absolutely.
Extended arts, things
exact like content TBD, but it's going to be in the form of stores are going to buy kits. There's going to be probably you buy one kit, one night of OP support. So I'm going to make it really easy for people to want it for stores to want to get involved. They don't have to buy 50 kits to run it on certain days. Buy a kit, run it when you want to run it. If you want to buy 5 kits, run 5 nights of OP. Playmats, EAs, things like that. Enough for a good fun night of OP.
So obviously the theme this year is a little different. We're in a jungle theme. I see there's some new products from Upper Deck.
Yes, sir.
What have we got going on that everybody's demoing here behind us?
We're standing in the rainforest that was ripped right from the movie Predator because we're launching Legendary Encounters Predator. So that's like the belle of the ball right now. It's a fun game. It's a follow-up to Alien that came out last year at Gen Con, and that was like an Alien-themed booth. We had the big Alien stuff. So people probably put 2 and 2 together. Anything that we launch next year at Gen Con, we'll probably be standing in the middle of, right? So look for something really cool. I know what it's going to be, but I can't tell you. In any case, yeah, so we have Legendary Encounters Predator. We have Marvel Legendary Secret Wars, which is our latest expansion. I should say Secret Wars Volume 1, because Volume 2 is going to come out in a few more months. So another box of awesomeness. We have Firefly Shiny Dice, designed by my good friend Scott Morris. Super talented. He made a great game. It's super fun and quick, and it's got Firefly all up in it. So there's that. The last thing is obviously Versus. Shouldn't forget that we launched Bring Out Your Dead in June at Origins, and we have Bring Out Your Dead here. It's going very well. We have a lot of games going on. This is the most we've ever launched in one show. It's totally nuts. We've never, like, when I came in this morning, literally the line was against the wall, all the way back to that far wall. It was snaked around inside the booth like I've never seen before. We couldn't do any demos for the first 2 hours of the show because there were so many people in here just trying to buy product. I get it. It's a good problem to have, but it was just crazy. So it's good crazy, though. It's a good crazy. It's awesome crazy.
So anything else that you want to tell folks that are interested in say, Versus, or specifically since it's a brand new...
Yes. So Versus, I want to, like, there's a lot of speculation out there, right? Is it the exact same thing? Did you totally change it? Is it legendary? Is it not? It's essentially the same game. Okay, there's been some changes made by the designer Danny Mandel, who worked on the original game and was really excited to come back to make some changes, and quite frankly, what he thought were fixes to the original game engine. I completely agree, and one of those is, adding in the main character element, kind of taking the play from, it was very resource row focused, now it's more character focused, which I think is more fun for a Marvel battle game, right? In any case, it's still the fundamental same game. There have been some changes. It's not a dumbed down version. It's not simplified. I think Danny did a hell of a job making it more fun. And to me, that was the biggest thing. And again, I've said it in other places, I didn't think the game was very fun before. I mean, I know it's popular, and I know it scratched an itch that people had. But for me personally, for my game style, I didn't have a lot of fun playing it. And I played a lot of it back in the day.
I think the quote that I've heard you say recently that most actually resonated with me when I played previously on the old one is it's time to play math.
Time to play math.
Because there's a lot of math in the old system.
And there still is, but it's almost masked in a way.
Right.
With just the addition of the counters in the game makes it so much more. I can look down and see a snapshot of what's going on, as opposed to like, oh yeah, that's right. You know what I mean? So Danny made a hell of a game here, and from what I see, everybody loves it. The 10K is almost filled up, and I see people playing it on the floors outside. I see people in my hotel doing it, and they're not playing for money right there. Granted, they're probably practicing to play for money.
9 p.m. tonight, that's where I'll be, yeah.
And that's cool, but I mean, it just seems like everybody likes it. I've shown it to a lot of old school Versus players, such as yourself, and at Origins, I showed it around a lot, and there were skeptics, and I get it. I totally respect that there were skeptics out there that were like, I know you screwed it up, man. And then after they played it, like, all right, you're cool. All right, we're cool now. We're all good. So I just think that once some people saw it, and I gave it to some people who I knew would be vocal about it. And look, I wanted honesty, good or bad. And not everyone's going to love it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, and I think it's a much more fun experience.
See, and one of the things that I have appreciated over the last year or so is it seems like you guys are really taking feedback to heart, as opposed to sometimes it seemed to go tone deaf.
That's a good point, and I'll tell you, it's been more than the last year. It started when we relaunched Legendary, and I was very, very vocal from the start about, number one, being transparent, and let's just be honest with all our players. And honesty's not always good. It's like sometimes you don't hear what you want to hear, but at least you know it's an honest answer. The other thing is listening to what players are saying, and stores are saying, and distributors, everybody. Like, listen to all the feedback. And I'd say mainly players, because they're the ones playing the games. I'm a player. I wanted stuff changed in my own games, and inevitably we try to change it. And if it's within reason, we do. And a good example of that is the first the core set of Marvel Legendary. Came out, it's a great game. Everybody was like, it's on the cusp of like that, moving the needle from good to great. Here's a couple reasons. One of them was the art. It was all good art. Nobody didn't like. It wasn't I don't like the art. It's very repetitive. Each character has one piece of art. That's great feedback. Totally understand like how that could make it sort of look monotonous, you know, when you have all the same Captain America image out there, and it could be a little bit much. So with Dark City, the first expansion totally changed it, and obviously it is what it is today, and we've never gone back. Some of the other things to listen to where you're like, hey, the game was too easy. Anybody who played Dark City knows we ramped it up immediately, and we've kept making it more difficult and more challenging, but at the same time, in a way that people go, Apocalypse just murdered me, re-rack it, let's go again. You know, or Thanos is just beating the hell out of me. But it's awesome because it's Thanos and he's beating the hell out of me, so let's do it again. And like that's the magic of Legendary, right? So you switch one element out, 2 elements out, and it's a completely different experience. And I think that's what people love. So that's what I love about it. It's a fun game.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your time. Of course, as always, keep it locked to GamersLedge.com for everything related to Versus, Legendary, and Upper Deck.
Yeah.